MPL presents Cricbuzz Live. Not a massive score on the board for the Mumbai Indians, but there's a word that we're not allowed to use here. I'm trying to see if there's a synonym for it I can possibly use. It's the M word that you use to talk about a team that has done really well and they go into the change room feeling good about themselves. You figure it out for yourselves. The fact is, two bowlers went in with impeccable figures with 1 over to go, and both of them have ended up with identical figures which don't look bad in isolation, 4 overs for 34, but considering that they scored 39 in the last two, it doesn't look very flattering at the end of the day. 136 for 7, something for them to bowl at, and it was that man, Pollard, 46 of 26 deliveries. We also saw a little stat that he hits more sixes, or he has hit more sixes than fours in T20 cricket, and certainly those sixes helped at the end. Vaughan and Joy Bhattacharjya with me. As I said, if you look at that total in isolation, you'll be like, whoa, Hyderabad go. But the way they finished off, they'll walk into that dressing room thinking, yes, we've got a chance.
Yeah, Pollard and his countrymen last night, Joe, was very similar in terms of the striking power at the end. That drop, Rashid Khan dropping him on 8, that was a key moment in the game because, it's not a big total, but it is something that can be defended if you take your chances, you bowl nicely, get a bit of fortune, which will probably be the case. You need to get rid of Warner and Johnny Bairstow early. That middle order hasn't really been challenged for the Sunrisers because it's not been required because of the powerful opening combination at the top. So there's something about this Sunrisers team. You go back to the Delhi game, where they restricted Delhi to a small total. Everyone was talking about the pitch. A similar kind of thing's happening here. And I think within the first 6 or 7 overs, we'll know straight away whether it's just the fact that this Sunrisers team has got a ball attack. I know the last 2 overs disappeared for 39, but they just seem to have every trick covered. They've got the skill, they've got the leg spin, they've got the brilliance of Nabi, they've got the variations with the seam, they've got Carl with the headband on, bowling all these tricks, and the Yorkers were going nicely until those last 2 overs. So in terms of a bowling attack and a fielding unit, I know they dropped a couple of chances, but they seem to be a very well-oiled unit. So we'll find out what kind of pitch this is in probably about 6 overs' time.
Yeah, Nabi the standout there, 4 overs, 1 for 13, but don't count Sid Kaul out. He's bowled absolutely brilliantly. It was that 20-run over from Pollard that just spoilt his figures, but both Sid Kaul and Bhuvneshwar Kumar bowled well. And if you look at it, had that, we don't want to talk too much about ifs and buts, but had Pollard gone, there was nothing to follow at the end.
8 for 12 till then, 38 from 14 after that. So that was, I won't say it's game-changing. It's too early to say it's game-changing when you just put 136 on the board, but it definitely gives them a shot, and exactly what I'm saying. What you have with the Sunrisers Hyderabad is a plus is always a minus. Your plus point is your top order is being brilliant. The minus point is your middle order is untested and don't have runs under their belt at all. And remember, the entire middle order is Indian. So you're looking at 3 batsmen out there who need to come to the party. Manish Pandey needs to come to the party. Vijay Shankar needs to come to the party. And of course, Yusuf Pathan needs to come to the party. So Bombay will be thinking that, all we need to do is get a couple of wickets, get in there among them. They don't have much, so they're going to go with their fastest bowler, bend off. Both these guys are going to go for it. And Alzari Joseph is quite nippy. So he'll go for it.
They'll have to take pace off because Bairstow and Warner will want pace on. I look at the Mumbai Indians and I'll keep going back to that documentary, the Netflix doc that I've seen every single episode, Mahela Jawardena, the coach, speaking pretty much after every defeat. And what he pinpointed is exactly what's happening again tonight. Dot balls. There's been 57 dot balls. 57, that's 10 overs of dot balls that the Mumbai Indians are allowing the bowlers just to run up. They're not skillful enough to work the ball into the gaps. We saw at the end that they can hit the boundaries. But until they can rotate the strike, the pressure's going to build, and it's either 4 or nothing, 6 or nothing. They've got to be able to use the wrist and rotate the strike and kind of just get those singles going a little bit more often.
They've got the sort of nucleus of the side that played the 2017 final, and on that day, that very ground, they defended 129. Will somebody in the dressing room be reminding them of that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or will they never have forgotten?
No, Rohit was the captain. That was their big 3rd IPL win, and it was a record-breaking win at the time because nobody had won 3 till then. And yes, they defended brilliantly, and again it was the same. They'd collapsed right up early up front. They were 16 for 3, they were 25 out for 4, and then they somehow came, 79 for 7, somehow managed to get themselves to that total. And I think it's really important here. They will, all teams do that. They'll take you back to things that, look back and remember this thing, remember the main, remember the, Trafalgar. So you always choose your best wins and go back and say that,
Yeah, but we also told you about the performances against Hyderabad, and I think it's worth having a look at that again. And this has been a trend that's continued. We've sort of updated this. This is what it was historically from 2016 onwards, and it's just added to it. They've not even touched 160 once, and I can tell you pretty much you can wager that all of these haven't been pitches that have justified those scores. We don't know about the surface until the second team bats on it. I think that's usually a fair assessment of it. If Hyderabad go and knock these runs off for 2 wickets in 13 overs, then you know that it's a subpar performance.
Yeah, and that's the last 3 years, and the Sunrisers haven't had that much change. So this is a team that's, I guess, consistent, knows each other, their strengths, weaknesses. They know exactly the combinations that they can bowl. They're a very, very good team. The Sunrisers, for me, in terms of their operation, are probably the best team in the tournament with everything that they've got. Chennai are outstanding because that combination of Fleming and MS Dhoni, and he just manages to get the best out of every single player within that team. But as a team that gets together and gels, and the culture, I just love the Sunrisers. I just think they are as one. They've accepted Johnny Bairstow. Clearly he's accepted because he scored a load of runs, but the message from Johnny to England is that they're a really well run organisation, and he feels very much a part of the culture already.
And we earlier spoke about the Chennai Super Kings, who have had a few problems in the power play. We know the Mumbai Indians have lost wickets regularly. The Sunrisers are the only team who have not lost a wicket in the power play. Add to that record-breaking stretch of 3 century partnerships in a row between Bairstow and David Warner, and that just means it's ominous times for Mumbai. It also means, as you said, the key for Mumbai will be get rid of one of them, get rid of both.
Early wickets.
That's what they've done in the power play so far, and 0 wickets. That's the key.
I'll say one. Jason Behrendorff will have an opportunity against Johnny Bairstow if he can get the ball shaping back. The one area that you can really target Johnny Bairstow is the ball coming back into him, because he throws his hands at the ball. He's so dangerous through the offside. He almost stays leg side. He sometimes gets crossover, so his back foot goes outside leg stump, and he gets a little bit shut off. So if the ball comes back into him, there's a big gap between bat and pad, which is great in white ball cricket and kind of 50 over cricket. It's been a real problem for him in Test match cricket. So if the ball comes back into him, there's a chance that the left-armer might just create a little bit of doubt in his mind, and that's exactly what the Mumbai Indians will be hoping for.
I also think that given the circumstances, if they lose wickets early, lose a couple of wickets early, don't be surprised to expect Mohammad Nabi to walk out a bit early, because given the fact that he's got some confidence in his belt, been bowling beautifully, he's batted very well this year in the Big Bash as well. So if your Indian middle order is looking a bit unstable, they might just promote him a bit and say, okay, bat out 3-4 overs and see it. But it all depends. They're smart enough, they're flexible enough, but at least Mumbai's clawed their way back into he's given the game something to play for.
Yeah, I don't see anything but a Sunrisers win. I just think they've got too much nous. I just think they've got too much experience. I think they just know how to win. If it was Delhi chasing this kind of total, well, I'd have a little bit of a flap on, but Sunrisers, it may happen, but I can't see it happening.
How about the Royal Challengers chasing this?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they'd be all right chasing.
Yeah, Kohli with the bat.
I think he'd be all right with the bat in hand. Absolutely fine. 60 not out for Virat.
There you go. But there are a few distractions for the two Afghan boys. Obviously, it hasn't shown on the field with ball in hand. Maybe that dropped catch was something he was a little distracted in his mind. But, it's something that they've talked about. They've come out publicly.
Yeah. I mean, and that's an interesting one, that when 2 of your most senior cricketers go out and say that replacing the captain was not a good idea, there's only one reason they should be doing that. If they think that there's still enough time to rescind that decision and bring him back. Because what they're trying to do is put public pressure on him. If it's a decision that can't be taken back, then I think it's irresponsible of them to do it, because then they're just adding more controversy to it. I think they're doing it because they know there's still an opportunity. The team has not been announced. There's still an opportunity to bring him back. Brave of them, because officials are always last longer, whether you like it or not, last longer than players. But I commend them for it.
If there's 2 players that can speak out, it's those 2, because they've generally, over the course of the years that Afghanistan have been playing international cricket, have been outstanding. They're selling Afghan cricket all over the globe in all the leagues that they're playing in. And how you get rid of the captain that's got you to the World Cup a month before the World Cup starts, I think it's absolutely bonkers.
And Michael, to add to that, both these players have been captain of Afghanistan in the past. Nabi before Asghar Stanikzai, now Asghar Afghan. And Rashid, of course, was a reluctant captain. He knew he didn't want it, but he was thrown it anyway. But he was very clear, I'm the player, I respect the man who's captain.
There's just something about a little bit of controversy that follows some of these teams around the world. It's just something that doesn't need to happen. They've got to the World Cup final. It's a great celebration of where Afghanistan have come, of where they're going to end up. They're playing test match cricket now, and I honestly think that if they get everything settled, they will frighten some of the big teams in the World Cup. If they get the right conditions, they get a little bit of fortune with the toss in hand, win a toss when the pitch is dry and they bat first, get 250, 270 with the likes of Nabi and Rashid Khan. Afghanistan will win games at the World Cup, but I just find this a little bit sad that a month before the World Cup it's a little bit of controversy. That just doesn't need to happen. Surely you go into the World Cup with a captain that's got you there.
And the reason why, of course, Rashid Khan was captain was because Asghar Khan was out with surgery, but he's obviously a gutsy cricketer. He came back immediately, stepped into the captaincy role where they were not looking absolutely certain, and they won a string of games.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This guy is delivering for you. If you look at his results over the past year, and even now in T20 cricket, Afghanistan is the most successful team in world cricket, bar none. No Australia, no India, no South Africa. They are the most successful team. Okay, they play a few more minnows than the others do. But that's what I'm saying. How do you replace a successful captain with nobody else captaining, no one else to show a month before the most important tournament?
Easily to put right. The Afghanistan board just needs to backtrack and go, sorry, made a mistake. There you go, sir. You're captain once again. You don't upset Mohammad Nabi and Rashid Khan. That'll be my message to them. Do not upset those two. Those two will win your games. If you upset them, they might just not turn up. You never know.
Well, they're not upset as far as this game is concerned. They might have a role to play, at least Nabi with the bat. We know Rashid Khan can bat as well, but with this total, we don't expect him to bat. So I'm going to throw two questions at you. One is the obvious prediction. Before that, who's your one key bowler who's going to make sure that this is not going to, if things were to turn around for Mumbai?
Well, I think, they'll have to take pace off, but I've just got a sneaky suspicion is if Jason Behrendorff gets it right, he can cause a little bit of damage at the top of the order. He might get Johnny Bairstow, he might do for David Warner, so I'm going with Jason Behrendorff.
I just like the fact it's a big ground and it's not always easy to donk it out, so I'll go with Krunal Pandya because it's big boundaries on either side, so somebody trying to take them on might just get a couple of wickets.
Yeah, he was man of the final way back in 2017, and he's the batting all-rounder who'll need to prove his prowess with ball in hand. Now, I'm assuming all of us agree that this should go the orange way.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're smart enough not to panic, so Bombay will have to do something extraordinary to beat them.
So hence, if we're all agreed on that, it's very critical for that MPL Super Couch that we need to nominate exactly when the Sunrisers will finish this off.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, 18th.
18th.
16.4 overs.
Oh, I like it.
Bairstow will get going.
Oh, I was going to go.
As much as I think the left armer might cause him a bit of damage,
I was going to go
get
somewhere around there. But can I just go in between, or is that like sitting on the fence? If I were to say 17.2, no, that's 18th. Actually, let me take a different over. You've gone 18th. You've gone 17th.
Yeah.
So I'll go 16th. So 15.4. 16th over is good enough. So 16th, 17th and 18th, that's what we feel. Nobody on this panel thinks that the Mumbai Indians will be able to defend that, even though they did so in the final against Pune a couple of years ago. But stranger things have happened. We shall try and assess that at Cricbuzz Combox in the 10th over and wrap it all up, possibly within Saturday night itself. We'll see you.